Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to make this. It's a Princess Leia spirit hood. I wanted to give you a variation on the spirit hood tutorial that I made last year, and just because, well, why not? You're not limited to only one type, and we can make so many more. And of course I am still completely obsessed with the new Star Wars. I mean Rey. She's awesome. I want to make a cosplay of her. But today is going to be about Princess Leia, because I mean, who doesn't love the buns? Making a slave Leia spirit hood would have been very difficult, so buns. Yeah. If you want to know how to make the spirit hood the base, I have a video on how to make it, so I'll direct you. I think the card is going to be there, and then I'll show you how to make the buns, how to attach them, and all this jazz. Okay. Let's go with the tutorial. Alright, so for the base of the buns, you're going to cut 4 circles of fabric measuring 15 centimeters in diameter. Then we are going to put 2 circles on top of each other, right sides together, and sew all around with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, and make sure to leave a gap so we can turn it inside out later on. So once your circles are sewn together, what you need to do is clip the seam allowance so your seams are going to lay flat, and then you can turn everything inside out. Okay, so now you can iron everything flat. Make sure the seam allowance are towards the inside for the opening, and then you can top stitch everything in place. So now for the buns. For each bun you will cut a piece of fabric measuring 17 inches by 30. So now for each strips you're going to fold them in half lengthwise, right sides together, and then you're going to pin them in place. Then you will sew the long edge and one of the short edges with a centimeter seam allowance. So once your tube is sewn, you can turn it inside out. Then you can stuff your tubes. Do not overstuff it, otherwise it's going to be difficult to shape it later on. Alright, so now we are going to get the tube ready to go on the base. So I'm using some nylon thread for it, and I'm going to scrunch up the 2 sides together so they are put together and it doesn't make a weird squarey thing. The other side of the tube has not been closed yet because I want to have the option to play around with the length if I need to, so it's not completely filled up. So once it's scrunched up that way, we are going to put it on the base. Feel free to use glue, hot glue, or any glue at all. I just wanted to give you a sewing option and to show you how to do it with sewing. So now we are ready to attach the tube to the base. So as you can see, I'm not going to put it straight in the middle. I'm going to off-center it a bit. It's just on how the coil is going to be formed. It's going to be a bit off-centered. So just a few stitches to attach it together. So now the fun starts. So we are going to start forming the coil. Basically, you're going to start twisting around the tube and hold it together where you will have contact points. And just slowly, but every time the tube is in contact with another part of it, just put a few stitches in. It may be a bit of a frustrating process, but it's needed if you want the coil to stay put. So at the moment I'm stitching the whole tube with one another. I'm not caring at all about the base, so the base is going to be sewn on later on. So once you've done your first stitches, you can start rolling your coil just like so, and then every few centimeters just add some stitches. You need to add quite a few if you want it to be quite strong, and at the beginning, because you just want to unravel completely, you will have to hold it tight, so it's going to be a bit hard on your hand there, but once the beginning bit is done, it's going to be a lot easier to sew it together. So that's how it looks like so far. So now we need to finish up the bun. As you can see, I didn't finish the end bit. It's just to give me options for later on. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of stuffing so it doesn't end abruptly.
Then once it's stuffed to my liking, all I'm going to do is just shape it and make sure that the ends are tucked underneath the bun. And I'm going to pin everything in place and then finish up the sewing job on the bun. Alright, so next thing is the raw edges needs to be sewn onto the base, onto the bottom of the bun, and then we are going to sew the base. So you might wonder why we have the base. It's just to keep everything tidy and also to keep the coil from going up, because it's there's quite a bit of tension in there, so it's to keep everything stable. Alright, so now that the buns are done, we need to attach them to the hood. So the best way about it is to try the hood on and check the placement. Once you're happy, you can pin it in place from the back, and then we can sew them or glue them in place. So I'm going to sew mine. So as you can see, I have some nylon thread on my needle, and I'm grabbing a stitch on my bun, and before I come out of the bun, I'm grabbing a stitch from the hood itself. So I'm going to keep on doing this all around the place. So it's like a ladder stitch really, and going to go all around of the bun. It's going to make it quite secure.
Alright guys, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not leaving it thumbs up? And if you want to see more videos and be notified when I make more, you can always subscribe. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!